Hello, welcome to Take 10 on Tuesdays for the Tennessee Tribune. I'm Sandra Long-Weaver, and today we're on the road again. We're at Woodcuts, which is in the 1600 block of Jefferson Street, and we're talking with Miss Ludi Amos of Clarksville, who is a renowned artist, and she has an exhibit here at Woodcuts that will be here through the month of August. So we wanted to talk to her just a little bit about her work and how she got into becoming an artist. I know when you were a younger woman, you worked at a school, you were a secretary, and did those sort of things. So how did you finally get into art?
I really got into art as the children got older and left the house, and a matter of going back to my first love.
Oh, I see. And how many children do you have, Miss
I
Amos?
have 3 children,
Okay.
2 girls and a boy,
Okay.
and I have 11 grandchildren,
Wonderful.
and I have a few great-greats
All right.
grandchildren.
Wonderful. Great. Okay. So now your work, you do sculpture, you do quilting, and sitting behind us are some of the quilts, and we'll show you some other quilts, some of her other work that she's done as well. But tell us a little bit about what inspires you to do this work.
Well, first of all, I think inspiration comes from a lot of things. Maybe a walk in the backyard, walk through the house, something I see, or an image come to mind. And sometimes you have to do it quickly. So I make a quick sketch. I don't always complete it,
Okay.
but I make a quick sketch towards a memory. Some things I go back to, some I have never returned to.
Oh, really?
But there are words and different things that kind of speak, and then I'm anxious to get busy, whether it's sculpture or doing the wall hangings now.
Okay. And so let's talk a little bit about your sculpture. There is a schoolhouse, so it looks like a one-room schoolhouse. Is this from a memory of how you went to school? And it's so detailed with the faces of the children, and there's one whose hand is raised, and the teacher looks like my 5th grade teacher. When I saw it, I thought about my 5th grade teacher. And the children are just sitting there and paying attention. And was this?
It is my reflection of where I began.
Okay.
And I began in the rural Georgia with my family, and I was a member of 10 siblings.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm sandwiched in between the 2 brothers, and I'm the youngest girl, and I have a younger brother.
Okay.
However, I was able to go to school, and the school was just really a couple of houses away from me. So it was just right there, just a quick walk. So that's the first school I attended.
Okay. All right.
And before I left, it was the very first one. And I loved the teachers. I loved the people. We knew each other. She knew our family. We couldn't get away with a thing.
Of course not.
But learning was important to me. And I think my mother thought, you may make a good teacher. Well, I never became a teacher.
Okay.
But I do have memories of that time.
Okay, all right. And the schoolroom shows wonderful memories. And with the schoolroom, it's not just the sculpture, but you actually did the woodwork of the school building itself as well?
Yes.
Wow. And so did you go to school and learn these skills, or are you self-taught?
No, other than the art training in school, later in school. But it's just a memory, and I give God all honor and praise for all that I do. But scale and things, not that I'm perfect at it, but it comes more natural to make. And the reason for the size of them is so that students or young people or someone can look at it, as I'm finding out today, that it has come to fruition, that others cannot be just right up close on it, but at a little distance and still see it.
Right. Okay.
But I try to remember every detail that I grew up with
Wow.
and kind of the way it looked.
Mm-hmm.
Now, someone else may have, but these were in my mind and my thoughts. So
Okay.
that's the way I remember.
Okay. And you also like African art. Right behind us is a row of African drummers who are playing, and then above it, African women who look like they're, I think it's called counseling. So the women are giving each other advice. So you're inspired by African art as well?
I really love, that was the one thing I've yet to do, and I've kind of put it on the back burner. I wanted to go to Africa to see.
Mm-hmm.
And some people you can see in pictures, you can see in many things, but I wanted to feel the earth.
Ah.
There's a difference when you take a grain of sand or dirt. The red dirt of Georgia is magnificent. I played with it a lot
Okay.
as a child. But somehow you get more
Mm-hmm.
of the culture. Somebody's walked there.
Mhm.
Somebody's done something. But I've never been,
Mhm.
so what you see is more or less a figment of my imagination.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but that's good. But the work where there's one, I think a recent hanging, and it almost looks like you can step into it. And also you have sculptures too, where it looks like everybody's gathered on the back porch, or just sort of an evening that's more of a memory and your reflection of what went on.
Well, the front porch is your 3-season living room.
I see.
I grew up in a house that only had bedrooms and a kitchen.
Oh,
To take care of 12 people in the household,
that's a lot of people. Yes.
the bedrooms,
Mm-hmm.
and I did a sculpture of crowded because we shared the bed space
Right.
and all as a child. But your front porch was your 3-season living room. That's where you entertain guests,
Mhm.
where people came to say howdy. They sit a spell. They'll even help you shell your peas, help you do your work.
Okay.
They would share in that in their visit, like
Mhm.
bring me and help you shell and do
Mhm.
whatever chore you were doing on the front porch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was a conversation of where you entertain.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't in a rec room or living room.
Right.
It was
It
front
was on that
porch.
front porch.
So
Okay.
that was key to my early childhood.
Mhm.
The front porch,
Okay.
that's where things happen.
Okay. The other thing that has struck me is the detail in all of the faces, whether it's your sculpture or it's in the wall hangings. And how do you spend a lot of time doing the faces, or how does?
It's hard to put into words, and I'm not trying to evade anything, but when I'm doing, whether it's polymer clay, many were done starting out. I used styrofoam.
Really? Okay.
So the choir, the
Mhm.
faces, and the structures of a styrofoam,
Mhm.
as is the congregation
Mhm.
and the front porch. But as I came along with the schoolhouse, the classroom, they're done out of polymer clay.
Ah, okay.
And sometimes it's just almost as if you're just doing it.
Mhm.
It isn't, this have to be structurally this way or that way,
Mhm.
because when we look at one another, we're not perfect,
Right. This is
right
true.
or left.
Mhm.
We're different. So that's what I do with my hand. The head's always with the face first.
Oh, okay.
And then I determine if they sit or stand or
Mhm.
whatever
Oh,
they
whatever
do.
they do. Okay.
Uh-huh. But that was the first, try to get the expression
Mhm.
that I had in mind.
Okay. And so the polymer clay you've been doing since about 2006, is that right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. And the wall hangings, were they before or you're doing both at the
They
same time?
were, now I'm doing both, but however, the wall hangings came in after I started with the polymer craft.
Absolutely. Okay. Is there a favorite that you have?
Well, not really, because each one is just trying to get this image that I have in my mind to see if it's pleasing to my eye when I complete it.
Okay.
To see if I did get it.
Okay.
Because you can't make a snapshot.
Right.
I'm not copying anything.
Mhm.
It's what's coming out of me. Did it come the way I see it in my mind?
Okay. So, Miss Amos, is there anything that you're about to work on now? Anything going on that's inspiring you to look at?
I do have a couple of ideas in mind that I would like to do. I'm thinking I've got one more homage to the front porch.
Oh.
And that's the entertainment aspect of the front porch.
Okay.
That wasn't just our living room,
Mhm.
but when you live in the country, people would strike up a banjo
Oh.
back
okay.
in the day if
Mhm.
they had access to a guitar
Mhm.
or juice harp, as they call it.
A
We
juice
had
harp? Like
they
a
played,
harmonica?
yeah.
Is
It wasn't
not a-
quite the harmonica
Okay.
was one too, but it's like having a string and playing a tune,
Wow.
a melody, and of course the human voice of singing.
Right.
People would strike up singing a spiritual.
Okay.
When I was a child, the spiritual was you didn't do the secular music around my parents.
Right.
You did, not that it wasn't known.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then somebody would strike up something they heard that had to come in.
Okay.
But with the church, it was a cappella.
Oh.
So somebody
yeah.
would start singing a song, somebody start patting their feet,
Okay.
clapping their hands, and next thing you knew, you had a musical right in front of you.
Wow.
And it was entertaining,
Right. Okay.
looking at God's sky and hanging off your feet, hanging off the board.
Okay.
I can visually see that in my mind because I did.
Right. Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing what you finally create with it and another exhibit. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, I thank you.
And thank you for joining us. We've been talking with Miss Ludi Amos, who is an artist from Clarksville, Tennessee, who has created wonderful wall hangings and sculptures that are currently on exhibit at Woodcuts, and it'll be on exhibit through August. We hope you get a chance to come by and see her work and perhaps take some of it home. All right, thank you again. I'm Sandra Long Weaver, and we'll see you the next time.